Buckle up for another episode of Ghost Facers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun, as always, is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
Can we just get to the episode? I'm sorry we haven't recorded in a while. My recording skills are rusty.
Sure, I
spent the last 2 weeks as just a slobbering pile of gross man flesh.
Oh my god, tell me more.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Ghost Facers! We face a ghost, when others will not, we're ghosts! Ghost Facers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghost Facers! We face a nightmare, we face a dread! Ghost Facers! We face a faceless, we face a dead!
Welcome to Ghost Facers. Today we're discussing Season 6, Episode number... What?
Oh, thank God. I watched it last night and I couldn't remember what episode we were on and I refused to look it up.
I mean, so you just watched this one hoping that was the right one?
Basically.
Did you do the lore?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're
just
fully
a strong
prepared.
Possibility that it was just not the episode.
What would you have done?
I don't know, made some bullshit up.
Wait, have you done that before?
Lawn care.
Oh, no. I knew it. This is, of course, Episode 3, and the episode's called The Third Man.
Yes. I've noticed that because there was also like 2.5 Men last week.
Sure, yeah.
Second episode.
Yeah. It's a thing. I mean, if you can play with the naming scheme.
I think they didn't do it in the first one.
No.
And they don't do it after this. So it's not really a pattern so much as like an accident.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
And luck of the draw, I suppose. Yeah. But before we start talking about this episode, we have a review.
Hey.
That's right. From
This one's not going to make me cry, is it?
I mean, maybe not from your eyes.
Jesus. What?
Do you want me to go into it?
I cry?
That's a version of leaking.
Good Lord.
It leaks for you, right?
See a doctor.
It leaks. It's fine. It's coming out.
What the fuck? Yeah, that's when you send an emoji, the 3 little squirts. That's
how much comes out.
That's when you cry from not your eyes.
Jesus. Baby, you look so good. I'm going to cry from not my eyes, if you know what I mean. It's Richie. This review comes in from AMA_Night via Apple Podcasts America.
Ooh.
With the subject, I'm here for the thirst.
Oh, hell yeah.
5-star review, they go on to say.
Yes, suck it reviews that say we need to tone it down.
Oh, yeah. It's only increased it.
Yeah.
Though I've listened to the first episode recently, and we were aggressive.
Of us?
Yeah.
Our first episode?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we got more aggressive.
No, I think we started strong, and then what happened was then Juicebox...
I thought we got worse.
Juicebox broke the mold.
Right. Well, yeah, obviously.
So they go on to say, this is the first rewatch podcast of any show I've come back to week after week. The segments are great, except the sandwich segment.
Who the fuck are you paying to write these bullshit reviews?
Though, I disagree. To be fair, I don't really like sandwiches.
Oh my God.
This person must be stopped.
Lock and load. They're a monster.
Look, I don't want to do it, but it's got to happen.
We got to put them down, Sammy.
Yeah. The chemistry of the hosts give me flashbacks of watching Supernatural with my university roommates and having the same level of thirst for Dean, Sam, and Cass.
Oh, that's fun.
Love that. They bring up interesting aspects of the show and little bits of trivia that I hadn't known before. I also love the fans who write in and give an expert opinion on different medical questions that are super interesting. Good work, guys. All in all, I give this podcast 5 out of 5 thirsty fangirls.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, send them my way.
Easy. Jesus. Good Lord.
I'm horny today.
Cool. Totally cool thing to say to your friend.
Yeah, come over here.
No.
What, you don't think I know what makes...
Yeah, how come there's only one chair in here today?
There is a couch, though. You don't think I know what makes my friend come? You will never live that down. It's also a thing you bring up constantly still.
I said it like a couple of times.
Way more than
also,
that.
it's true, but
I mean,
I said, Jesus.
No, continue. Finish the sentence. Finish for me.
Do we have a weird relationship too? Because like I don't see that much of you anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
And it feels weird.
Yeah.
But sometimes I sit at home and I'm like, I should send a message to Richard. It's like, well, what would I say? Like, it feels like I don't want to come off desperate.
Yeah, now?
I don't want to be like, oh, hey, what are you up to? It's like, no. Let him write first. It's so fucked up.
I will say you do respond very quickly.
Shut up, man. I could respond later if I wanted to.
Yeah.
You're just such a good conversationalist. I have to respond quickly. It's a compliment when you think about it.
Yeah, in a horny kind of way.
Do you know what? I don't like this. I'm not the weird one.
No,
probably.
the thing normal people say.
Yeah.
This episode aired October 8th, 2010. Written by, of course, Ben Edlund.
Yep.
And directed by Robert Singer.
All right.
Viewed by an estimated 2.16 million viewers.
Still not bad. We're still over 2.
And I don't know.
That number's going to keep going down.
Yes. And going up, I think. But not past what the top. We've already reached the top. The top was last season.
The top was the pilot.
Yes. No, I mean, the most watched episode was last season. I can't remember which one it was, but we said it in the episode that it was the most watched, like highest rated, like most watched episode, period.
Is that true, though? Because the number of watch, it wasn't like the 5 million or whatever, but wasn't the pilot?
Was it that high? I could be talking about
the pilot was like around 5.
Maybe it was the best rated, but not maybe the most watched.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Well, let's watch the promo.
Sure.
And see if that is an indication on why this is such a low watched episode.
What is that? What is that promo still of them sitting in the fucking like lounge chairs?
Yeah. Is this promo better than the episode?
It might be. It's a good setup for Cass.
Yeah.
You know, because we haven't seen Cass yet this season.
Mm-hmm. It might be better than the episode.
That's a pretty good promo.
It's a decent promo.
I'm also not going to lie to you. I watched this at like 1 a.m. and fell asleep near the end of the episode. And so I forget a lot of the end of the episode.
Well, good thing I'll walk us through it. So,
I'm prepared for this.
At least you watched the right one.
I mean, most of. Tired. Yeah.
Yeah, you really tightens this episode.
Yeah, I did.
So, this episode called The Third Man. This episode is named after the classic movie The Third Man from 1949, which tells the story of a man who finds out that his friend, who he thought is dead, is actually alive. Well, and pretty corrupt. This is similar to Castiel finding out about Balthazar later on. So you can see the crossover there. For international titles, there's really only one that changed it up.
Okay.
And it's the French title.
Oh, okay. This is...
less esoteric.
Is it called just like Plagues of God or something like that?
Close. It's called The Staff of Moses.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tracks, yeah.
Pretty just like more specific, I guess, about the tool in the episode rather than, I guess the third man means nothing to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that movie doesn't make a cultural impact, so there's no point.
Yeah, it's definitely possible for sure. Featured music from this episode is one song, The Gambler from Kenny Rogers.
Right.
And
sorry, from who?
Kenny Rogers.
Oh, I thought you were like Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. TV Guide describes this episode as Sam and Dean investigate when several police officers seem to have been killed by the biblical plagues of Egypt.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. ACAB.
Yeah.
Castiel joins in the probe and reveals...
Don't say it like that.
What?
Castiel joins in. Your eyebrows went way up. Castiel joins in the probe.
They can't hear my eyebrows raise.
They sure can.
And reveals there is chaos in heaven and that some of its weapons were stolen. But before we talk about that, why don't we open up Dad's journal? Wow, not even your computer. Let's open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real world lore.
Oh, sorry, Mr. All my devices are connected is now looking down his nose at me using my phone instead of my full computer for this.
It just seems like it's adding to the unpreparedness of this episode.
I'm so prepared. I did not.
Wikipedia says.
I did not. I have like a few windows open here. You know what? Fuck you. Yeah, let's see what the lore says about the staff of Moses.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Not just plagues, but specifically the staff of Moses.
Staff
All right.
of Moses.
We getting
baby.
plagues later on, or
We'll see.
all right.
I'll do what I want, man.
I mean, that's clear.
Yeah. So buckle up. The staff of Moses refers to, obviously he had like it was like his like shepherd's crook or something like that. Like it was a thing he had on him when he encounters the burning bush.
Oh.
And when God speaks to him,
Do you think the carpets match the burning bush?
I mean, isn't that the carpet?
Do you think the drapes match the burning bush?
Nice.
What's the drapes? The trees? Do the trees match the burning bush?
Yeah, cool.
Are the trees also burning?
Yeah. Can I fuck the tree?
I'm gonna get in the roots.
Jesus. What the fuck?
Put my dick in a gopher hole. That's really what's coming down to.
I mean, you were coming down too.
He's here.
I'm
There,
so
he
sorry.
showed up.
I'm so sorry. So when Moses encounters God, he has this staff on him.
Yeah. Convenient.
One of the first things that God does to kind of like prove he's God is like turn it into a snake and then turn it back. But then from that point on, the staff is referenced a few times in the Bible as being used to perform miracles and things like that. So actually, they talk a bit about I think it's Moses' brother Aaron.
We talk about that in this episode.
Using the staff to start the first 3 plagues, I think, which are like blood, boils, and something else.
Okay.
Moses uses the staff later for a couple of plagues, including locusts.
Mm-hmm.
The staff is also used to part the sea. It's used in the desert to cracks a rock and then water comes out so that they can drink when they're in the desert. So it's this very like powerful artifact. But what's maybe most interesting about the idea of the staff is that there's a few things going on. First of all, in the Bible, they talk about either a rod or a staff, and they say that it's either Aaron's or Moses's, or I think maybe there's a third one that they say.
Okay.
But most kind of rabbinical scholars believe that it's actually all just one staff, and it's just who's using it
Sure.
that kind of defines its like ownership in any given passage. They don't believe that like Moses had a staff and Aaron had a staff, and they're all like the fucking wizards.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's just they have a
staff. Okay.
So there's that. So that Moses and Aaron and whoever I can't remember, whoever this other one is might be part of it. There's also this there's a sort of interesting dialogue around the staff itself. So even though it's not strictly mentioned in the Bible, in those kind of like those extra biblical texts that we talk about, because we mention it all the time, where it's like there's only like 4 angels named in the Bible, but then we have all these names of angels, and you go, well, where is that written down? It's always in these kind of extra texts or whatever. So in some of the extra texts, they go back and sort of implicate that maybe the staff was made by God on the 6th day, which is also the day that he makes people.
Wow. I love that it's just like, and people.
Yeah.
Also a stick.
Yeah. I'm kind of running out.
Yeah.
I think I might rest tomorrow.
Yeah. God, classic lazy God.
Yeah, typical. So there's sort of this idea that it is, I think sometimes it's actually referred to as the staff of God, as if it is inherently magical, spiritual, or whatever. But then there's this sort of like counter argument from like rabbinical scholars and that there's instances of Moses invoking miracles without the staff, just with waving his hands and stuff like that.
Sure.
And also that the staff was just normal before God kind of spoke to Moses. that there was nothing like inherently powerful about it. The power of the staff
was in the friends we met along the way.
Is that? But it's like more of a metaphor for Moses doing the will of God and acting the will of God. Because there's a moment somewhere in the Bible that I can't cite where God tells Moses to do something different with the staff to make water, and instead he cracks a rock again, and then it like doesn't work or something like that because it's like metaphorically it's like Moses like having lack of faith or something. Like
sure.
And then there's also, he has to hold the staff up during this battle. If he holds it up, the Jews are winning, the Israelites are winning. If he lets it go, then they start losing. And as part of that, Aaron and someone else help him hold it up until they win.
Oh, sure. This is like it's
really
like a catcher in a
but
baseball.
It's not the staff
Sure.
making them win. That's like the test of faith, right?
Sure.
Is hold it up. So it's not the staff imbued with the magic of God. According to this kind of
Sure.
group of scholars, it's not the staff, it's the act. The
Sure.
act of faith, right? It would be that God says to hold it up, you hold it up. It could be anything. It could be like hold up a phone book, hold up it's the act of holding it up that is the sort of key to the miracle. So at any rate, there's a few interesting bits about it that way. There are a couple of groups that believe they have the staff of Moses.
Well, of course.
So this I need to actually read. So in Shia Islam, there's a quote that says the tablets excuse me. The tablets of Moses and the staff of Moses are with us. We are heirs of the prophets. But they don't say like it's over here.
They're just like, we've got it. Don't worry about it. We got weapons of mass destruction.
oh no. There is a document, quote, heavy quotes,
Okay.
at the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul.
Was it Constantinople?
Well, it used to be called Constantinople.
It's nobody's
It
problem
is
but
now.
the Turks.
But it's now called Istanbul.
Is it Istanbul or Constantinople? Is it Istanbul or Constantinople? You're too tired for this.
Yeah, I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah, I'm getting too old for this.
Too old for this shit. But supposedly,
I'm barely 18 for this.
Jeezy. Moses' staff is on display supposedly at the Topkapi Palace.
Sure.
It holds other reputedly holy relics, including a bunch attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, like a tooth, a footprint, etc.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's supposedly they would have been brought there after the Sultan Salim I brought the holy relics there after conquering Egypt in the 1500s. There's also supposedly in Iceland, there's a mention of the rod of Moses.
All right.
So I'm just going to read this verbatim here. So the abbot of the Icelandic Benedictine monastery of Þingeyrar, who had seen it guarded in a chapel of a palace. Okay, he saw it in Constantinople around 1150.
Sure.
According to this source, the Archbishop of Novgorod, Anthony, stated that it was in the Church of St. Michael in Bukolion Palace, and after the sack of Constantinople in 1204, it was transported to France, where Bishop Navalon placed it in the Soissons Cathedral, and then it passed to the treasury of the Sainte-Chapelle. So it's possibly there's a part of the rod in France.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's talk that basically it was the rod would have. Everyone says they've got a piece of it, but it all comes from the
Fucking
idea
Balthazar.
that the rod became a sort of like heirloom of like Judean kings.
Yeah.
But only after the sack of Judea was it like quote lost or hidden, or some say even mysteriously disappeared. And there was like a sort of vague prophecy that like whoever the Messiah was, they would be given the staff of Moses as a scepter would be part of their like inheritance.
Yeah.
For, like the, making the kingdom of heaven on earth sort of idea.
Yeah.
But so there's a couple of places that sort of claim ownership or having cited the staff of Moses. But
Wow.
so there you go.
So maybe Balthazar did break it apart.
Holy shit.
We just busted this wide open.
Yeah. Balthazar broke the staff of Moses in half. Split it in half.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, to be that staff. All right.
More like Balthazar. Right? I'm back.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into this episode. We start with then Sam being back for a lot longer than we thought, and Dean's pissed.
Yeah.
We got Lisa being the chillest fucking girlfriend of all time.
The most attractive thing this show's ever done.
Yeah, it's just been like, look, come and go as you please. Just like give me a you up text.
The biggest hard-on for understanding.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm wet with emotional responsibility. Dean is now coming back to hunting, baby.
Yeah.
He got in the car and he left, and we get a little reintroduction to Raphael.
Yeah, we get a couple of Raphael clips, a couple of clips just generally about archangels.
And Cass had to go back to heaven to deal with it because there is a battle going on.
Because Michael's not there anymore.
That's right. And we get into the now. This episode starts with a piece of shit cop.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
It starts with a scene in a police locker room where a police officer starts bleeding all over his body.
It starts with it looking like he has like a shaving neck.
Yeah.
And then he's got one on the other side, and then he like peels off part of his face.
Which was...
He's very calm about it.
It's a gnarly piece of like effects.
It looks great.
It's really
good effects. I gotta say, in general, the effects in this episode really solid.
Yeah, they're all great.
Yeah.
He eventually falls to the floor in front of his partner and like completely turns into blood and chunks of flesh.
He turns around and he's like, I think I'm bleeding. And then he falls over and he just explodes.
Yeah.
It's just like a mush of like flesh goop.
It's kind of awesome.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's our cold open.
Everyone is very chill about it. There's
way too chill.
No screams.
That's also a thing that really pissed me off actually watching this is that I'm like, whenever it's a guy, there's no scream.
They always do the kind of like, they're so shocked they can't scream. And then the women are always like, ah!
I'm like, give me a guy at least going like, help!
Yeah.
Yeah, like at least do that. Like I hate the like,
he gets a quip off.
Yeah.
Before he dies.
Bullshit.
Think I'm bleeding.
Yeah. So we now cut.
Piece of shit.
We cut to Dean in bed with Lisa.
Hell yeah.
The dream.
I mean, I can only think of one amendment I'd make.
No Lisa.
And it's to swap me in for one of them.
Yeah. Either way.
Dealer's choice.
And it ends up being Dean's having a dream.
Yeah.
He's not actually with Lisa. He's on his way driving to Sam.
Yeah, he's like sleeping in the car. Like he's pulled off the road and he wakes up.
Yeah. And that's basically it.
Yeah.
He's trying to find Sam. Meanwhile, it's the summer of Sam, baby.
Holy shit.
I think this might be the best he ever looks in the series.
This is the winter of my pitch a tent.
Winter is coming, just like me.
Hell yeah.
Piss content.
Yeah, I mean, this is the equivalent of like the salmon ladder shit from
Yeah.
Sam is just fucking working out.
There's a salmon ladder I'd like to climb.
Yeah.
He's doing pull-ups.
Yeah.
He's so hot that a prostitute forgets to get paid. And it almost gives him money.
This scene is like both, it kind of like a little made me cringe, but also is like just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, because we're laying all these breadcrumbs that like something's different about Sam.
Yes.
Not the least of which is like, I mean, look at him. He doesn't have to pay for sex.
I mean, specifically, it's interesting you say that because in season 4, episode 1, Lazarus Rising, Sam tells Dean he doesn't pay for sex.
Yeah.
Which indicates that his like personal moral compass. In this episode, Sam pays for sex. So
yeah, which is itself a weird problematic thing because sex work is work. And
yes.
like, go for it.
Yeah. Fill your boots and whatever else you'd like.
And, support people working hard.
Yeah.
But they are making an indication let's even remove the moral judgment from it. They're making an indication that something is different about Sam.
Yes.
Something has changed in Sam.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's like working out and she comes out of the bathroom. She's like, "Oh, you were great." And he was like, "Cool."
He's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. That's what all your kind say. And then he goes, "Wait," like she's about to leave.
Yeah.
And he hands her the money, and she goes, "Okay, well, next time hit me up on my day off. You're allowed." And he's like, "All right." And she leaves, and he like throws the number away. And you're like, "Holy shit!"
He throws it away.
But like, he's got the fucking cum gutters. Sam is so hot this season.
It's the hottest I think he ever looks. I mean, it's a big thing in a lot of the interviews where Jensen talks.
This is a real
about,
like men's health kind of bod that he's got.
Jared spends a lot of time working on his body, and it's a thing that like Jensen's talked about where he's constantly like experimenting with a new like weight program or like diet and exercise program. Like what's really funny is that I've been also watching a bit of like early seasons of Gilmore Girls.
Sure.
So watching him as Dean is so funny because I'm just like, God, if you could tell that kid what his body's gonna look like.
Yeah.
He actually looks worse now. Like he looked so good in this season.
He kind of looks like thin.
Too thin now.
But also he's older. Like those things that develop when you're older, like a little bit like kind of sunken in the face. It's just shit that happens as you get older. It's not like
fingers crossed.
God, I need to sink in a lot more places than my face if I'm gonna make up ground. But no, Sam looks so goddamn hot in this. It's wild.
But yeah, it's so hot that the prostitute offers to like basically date him and is like, "Call me on my like not days on," and I'm just like, is there like, do you have like hours?
She's got shifts.
Yeah. But also and then he's
what
like,
state are they in with like a regulated sex industry?
Yeah, on my when I'm not doing office hours. But then also was like, Sam has to be like, "Oh, you forgot your money."
Yeah, and he just fucking stands there and he gets on the phone with Dean and he's like, "You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel."
But he informs Dean that he is not where he said he was going to be because he ended up on a case.
Yeah, he's like, "Change of plans. Don't go to the Campbells. Meet me in Pennsylvania. There's a case." And Dean's like, "A case already?" He's like, "Well, I like to work." And he's like, "All right, whatever. Just chill the fuck out, man."
He's like, "Look at this body. It likes to work."
Yeah. You know what? Hang up and FaceTime me. I need to show you this.
So Dean is actually leaving Burger Heaven when Sam calls.
Yeah.
That is a neighborhood family restaurant in New Westminster, a southeast suburb of Vancouver.
Oh, it's a
real place.
Yeah.
So in another,
it's funny that they found that because it just feels like a thing
they
would do for the show anyway.
Totally. I just love that that's a real thing. In another part of town, a police officer is now sitting in a car as like a traffic like a speed trap.
Yeah. This guy's a real piece of shit too.
A Porsche goes by going 70
fuck
miles
him
per hour.
and his like extra large bucket of soda.
That was a small.
Yeah, that's a small. I'm sorry, I forgot he said America. Yeah. Man, up here, do you remember? Oh, it's probably like a decade or so ago now, but Wendy's switched to American sizing.
Yeah,
and you'd order a large drink, and you'd be like, Jesus! They'd hand you like a KFC bucket of cola.
It was nuts.
It's like, why? Who is this for?
Yeah, who's this underhydrated?
This is like a family pack drink.
Yeah,
like it's fucking crazy. Quick, go out to the trough.
Yeah, Mom needs her drinks.
Yeah. All you can drink fountain soda trough.
So the police, this piece of shit cop is just sitting there so lazy, won't even take a speeding Porsche.
He gets a phone call and he's like, "No, we just say that it happened that way. And it's
Why
fine.
are you calling me?
You panicky bitch," essentially is what he's saying.
And then suddenly something like very Sam Raimi comes flying out.
Well, there's so there's like movement in the woods. We kind of have this like POV shot. And he looks out in the woods and then we don't see what it is.
He just looks up from his eyes directly into the camera.
Yeah.
And takes it in the face. And
Jesus.
Suddenly,
it is Sunday morning. It's the Lord's Day.
You're the third person to say that to me today.
Well,
about Thanksgiving, which is what it was today.
Oh, okay.
Is
Sunday the actual Thanksgiving day? I never know that.
That's a great question. I have a calendar, and it just says Thanksgiving.
I seldom give thanks.
Tomorrow.
I just kind of take the
Monday
day
is
off.
the actual.
I mean, we get the holiday
but
for Monday.
tomorrow is the actual. It says
it is?
Thanksgiving Day.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's
But
tomorrow.
for real though, it's the Lord's Day.
Yes.
Ease up, man.
Yeah.
I can see your staff of Moses.
And all I can say is Jesus.
Yeah, it's throbbing.
With the light of God.
Yeah, it looks like it's about to split a rock open and gush water.
Oh, it's going to be holy, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna part those seas.
Just wait for my 3 drops to come out.
Jesus Christ.
So
I am so sorry, everybody.
yeah, I'm not sorry for anything. It's an appropriately horny episode. This cop fully just gets covered in boils.
Yeah, I really like how quick the progression is, and I think it's very like well edited. Where it's like we get a shot and he's got like one on his hand, one on his face, and then there's another quick cut, and then you look back up, and then there are way more on his face. Like I actually think it's very kind of expertly.
Yeah, it feels
done.
like they're growing on there and like you're watching it, but you're actually not.
But it's all intercut, like they're taking the time to reapply stuff, but it really does feel like you see them propagating.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a relatively subtle sequence that way, but very, very well done. The way the camera moves in those shots really gives the effect that you're watching it spread when you're not.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he dies. So we now cut to
Yeah,
Dean.
he's like choking. He calls for backup, and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh."
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, sorry, I'm drinking a big gulp over here."
Yeah, it's like, it's classic Larry.
Always a prankster.
Yeah, always drinking his big gulp.
So we now cut to Dean arriving at the morgue in the Impala. And he's on the phone parenting Ben at the same time.
Yeah. He says something like, "No, you're lying to me. I lie professionally. I know what you're doing."
Yeah.
He's like, "Tell your mom you broke it and take it like a man."
It's good. It's good. It's a good chunk of parenting.
And it's cute. Yeah. And I do like the idea that it's like he's still involved.
Yeah.
He's not like just fully going like, "Well, forget about them until I need a home."
Yeah. Until my dick gets dry and then I'll arrive.
Like a weather stick.
Yeah. Well, it's about that time.
Jesus Christ.
Could really use some rain around now.
Oh yeah, my knee hurts. Better go fuck. Storm's rolling in.
And gonna be a ho-nado.
A ho-nado. Not a tornado.
Oh, I mean, either way.
A hurricane.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, everybody.
Juice on me
What?
instead of a tsunami.
A what though?
A juice on me.
Oh, juice. I thought you were saying like a Jew thing.
No, God! Just because we're
Oh.
talking about Egyptians,
I don't know. You're always bringing the Jews
do
up.
better. Sam comments on Dean's like still parenting.
Yeah.
And
But Sam's also being a dick about it. Like Dean's like, "Well, it never saw it for me either." And Sam's like, how'd she take it? And Dean's like, "Pretty well." And he's like, "Well, whatever. This is better for everyone."
yeah,
Fuck you.
yeah, he's being a big dick about it.
Did I tell you what I did this morning, Dean? I fucked so good she forgot to take payment.
Yeah, she asked for my number and I threw it in the garbage.
Yeah. This is the new Sam.
That's right. I mean, I'm into it. They enter the morgue and take a look at the body of the cop, horrified by the scene.
Yes.
When the boys first enter the morgue, the doctor / forensic pathologist in the room is Robert Singer. That's the name of the doctor.
Oh, that's fun. But yeah, like I actually like the corpse effect. He looks like he's been like desiccated too, like all kind of dried up. But they also say he's got boils inside and out, and that's what he choked on.
Yeah.
Which is like fucking gross as shit.
Allergic reaction, like extreme allergic.
That's what
reaction.
they, like they put the cause of death down as, because they don't just default to like biblical plague.
Weirdly, yeah, I don't get it, but I guess each their own.
Yeah, I think he was allergic to being like a good cop.
It's weird. That's going around.
Yeah, he was allergic to justice. So he got his.
They hurry off to see the eyewitnesses to the first murder and find that this guy's acting real strange.
Well, he's dressed up in his dress uniform,
which is weird.
I guess presumably to go to the funeral, which
I
it
guess.
feels like if they know he's a cop, why would they go to his house and not meet him at the funeral?
Yeah, I don't know.
At any
Weird.
rate.
This guy's acting real weird.
Unless that's just part of his acting weird is being dressed up.
I could never figure that
I always
part
get
out.
the sense at the door that it's like, well, he must be on his way, but maybe it's just supposed to be that he's acting weird or whatever.
So this is Officer Colfax, and Dean says, "Whoa, looking sharp, Kojak," which is referring to the 1970s cop show Kojak from 1973.
Who loves you, baby?
Yeah, that's right, Kojak. He shuts the door on them, and Sam is forced to knock the door open.
No. Even the scene makes a point that is not. He's not forced.
Yeah, it's true.
Because Sam just immediately kicks the fucking door.
Yeah, we
down.
don't even know if he locked the door.
And Dean looks at him and goes like, "Jesus, Sam," and then Sam's just like, "Come on," they go inside.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He makes Dean look like such a pacifist in this episode.
I know.
It's kind of amazing.
It is. I do enjoy, even at the morgue, like the way they walk in, the way Sam is kind of briefing Dean, like the power dynamic
So different.
is so shifted. And I do like how they kind of layer this up from episode to episode. Like the first
Yeah.
episode, Sam feels mostly Sam-ish.
Ish.
And every episode, we kind of have these extra layers of like something's not right.
We need
And
to talk about
and this
Sam.
is like, I really like in this episode, you're like, man, like Dean's back, but it's weird. And it's like,
Well, he's been like pacified slightly by having a family, or so it's suggesting, and that Sam is now fully off. Like,
well,
on
yeah,
his
I mean,
own,
we
yeah.
saw it last episode with Dean being like, it's a baby. I don't trust you fucking Campbells. Like,
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, it's weird, but also they've set a bit of a precedent for this by like the previous like version where the trickster was messing with Sam, and what happens to Sam when Dean goes away and he suddenly like he gets into a bit of this version.
totally.
too.
I mean, it's not out of character, but they are playing like with our expectations of the show and the dynamic and
Totally.
using that to be like, keep an eye on it. You know,
It's true,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So the cop says that God wants them dead because of Christopher Birch.
Yeah.
The three of them,
The guy keeps trying to scratch his head through his hat.
which is a poor version of scratching.
Yeah, what an idiot.
The three of them had planted a gun in his car and they shot him.
Yeah.
He dies and
Not in that order.
Yeah.
Give
but,
him a gun before we shoot him.
But basically, this guy just like admits to
These are
this
bad
thing,
cops, and
he's just like, my head's scratching, and suddenly blood starts pouring down the side of his head.
yeah, and like,
Well, they're just like, hey,
he also gets a quip off and then
dies.
and then they move the hat, and there's like fucking locusts
It's
coming out of a
such
hole in his
crazy
skull.
Fucking effect.
Really cool.
Yeah,
Really cool.
Yeah, and locusts come out, and they were chewing out from inside.
Yeah, crazy.
Insane.
I love it.
Sam and Dean then
Really fucked up.
Yeah. Sam and Dean then return to their room and try to make sense of these.
And they're
events.
like, blood boils locusts. That's basically biblical plagues.
Yeah.
Should we call Cass? And Sam's like, Cass doesn't answer. That son of a... He calls him a son of a bitch a couple of times.
He's really being Dean.
Dean does a very kind of half-hearted prayer. And Sam's like, see, that son of a bitch. He's right behind me. It's
a very good he's
classic.
Right behind me.
Love that. And yeah, we get a hello.
Yeah, he's
Hello after all this time. Has the term changed?
Yeah.
I fucking love Cass so much.
And they start lecturing Cass about how much Sam has done and he should have answered. Castiel waves off their complaints by telling Sam that he has no idea who pulled Sam out of hell. Why would I come back? Why would I answer if I don't have any answers?
But also, like, Dean's being pushy with him, too. He's like, when Sammy calls, you answer. It's like, you don't boss fucking Cass around.
I know.
He's a fucking angel.
It's true, yeah. He adds that he has also did not prioritize Dean over Sam's calling because the main reason he dropped everything and arrived immediately was due to the case they were on.
Although, let's just back up a sec. He only says that because it does look like he answers Dean and not Sam. And Cass even says, like, I have a more profound connection with Dean. Oh
my God.
hell yeah.
The first hint.
I mean, it's funny on the rewatch being like, oh, because at first
yeah,
I
we've
was
talked
watching
about
through
this.
and then you were like, people really ship them. And I was like, really? I guess. And I watched through this. I was like, of course they fucking do.
Yeah, they were begging for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was there the whole time.
I mean, it totally was.
He informs them that the killings were in fact caused by one of their weapons.
Yeah, and this is where we learn a little bit about, like, Cass says that, like, well, he said at the end of last season, it's probably chaos up in heaven with, Michael
being gone, yeah.
And the apocalypse being averted. Like, none of the, famously, angels are not great at going off script. They're kind of drone-ish in a way. And so he's like, I better go deal with that. And he kind of lets us know that, like, it's bad up there.
It's a civil war.
He's like, heaven was corrupt, but it was stable.
Yeah.
And now that's fractured. And, Raphael is trying to take over, and he wants to get the apocalypse back on because that's his shit. And Cass and a bunch of others are trying to fight him. So it's like, yeah, civil war in heaven. And he goes, in the chaos, some of our most powerful weapons may or may not have gone missing.
Yep. And so one of the weapons that he's convinced is being used right now is the Staff of Moses.
Yeah, and it's like not a mystery to him. He just says, Staff of Moses, we got to find it.
Yeah. Dean asks, what is Chuck Heston's disco stick doing down here anyways? He's referring to Chuck Heston, who played Moses in the 10 Commandments from 1956.
Yeah. You blew it up.
Nope, wrong Charlton.
Oh, no?
They did it. They finally did it.
You finally did it. You parted the seas.
Ironically enough, talking about...
Get your hands off me, you damn dirty pharaoh.
Ironically enough, that line is about using nuclear weapons, so kind of, but...
Yeah, well, yeah, because Dean refers to these, like, god weapons as, like, you lost your nukes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for Cass's part, he's like, we need to make sure we get them back so Raphael doesn't get them, because he could use them in context of the Heaven Civil War.
And here's my favorite moment.
Okay.
Because Castiel goes, I need your help.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you need our help now? And then Castiel comes up with one of the best memeable lines ever, which he goes, sorry, my people skills are a little rusty. He's fully doing like finger quotes.
I like what he says where he's like, I've spent the better part of a year as a multi-dimensional wavelength of angelic light. And you go like, it's like, that's like, it made me think of like, in Third Rock from the Sun, every once in a while they would refer to how they're normally like quivering purple tubes. Yeah. And you go like, oh, right, they're aliens.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me think of that where he's like, oh, yeah, he like doesn't have a body as an angel. That's just like a visual representation.
So funny.
It's a very rare moment of that, I think, in Supernatural, because for the most part, whether it's technically real or not, we're always personifying. We're seeing them as people or whatever. It's just funny to have Cass be like, I haven't been corporeal for like a year, so excuse me if my people skills are
so funny. I love that.
It's a very good line. That's very, very funny.
But also
I
just
fucking miss
my people skills.
Yeah, him using aggressive air quotes.
So funny. Cass then teleports them to Mr. Birch's house and finds him cutting out newspaper articles about these dead cops.
Yeah, so it's the dad of the kid that got killed by these cops.
Yes, exactly.
And the dad is like reading the paper, and he's like, "Oh fuck yeah, you piece of shit! You get what you fucking deserve."
Yeah, seriously. They suddenly,
I can't say I blame him.
No, and they suddenly these guys just appear in front of him.
Yeah, and he's like, "Whoa!"
They immediately go like, "Anyways, yeah. What about why did you kill all these cops? We know what you did. We know that your son was like." Innocent and was set up by these cops.
So why did you kill these cops? Oh, wait.
Yeah, oops. And they go like, give us the staff. And he's just like, what are you talking about, you fucking crazy people?
Yeah.
And that's when his son, Aaron...
Yeah.
Son of Moses,
or
brother of Moses.
I like it.
Yeah. Birch shows up and he's got part of the stick and he's kind of like pointing it
he's like holding it like a gun. Yeah.
Which I mean that's how a kid would do it. Yeah.
I think it's like it fits with Supernatural, this kind of like using modern weapons and this kind of thing. Like I like it, but it is kind of funny.
It's cute. I like it. And then
Cass does a lot of angel moves here where
he knocks out the dad.
He knocks out the dad. He fucking like angel disappear, kind of flutters over, grabs the staff, knocks out the kid. After they go we're not gonna hurt you, but you have to tell us how did you get this? It comes out. This kid says,
Dean does the thing that he did with Ben, which is he parents him.
Yeah, he does. But they find out the kid says he sold his soul to an angel.
That's right.
And Dean is like, sorry, what?
Angels taking souls?
Is that even possible? An angel deal? And Cass is like, well, it's never happened before.
But everything's out the window.
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't been keeping track.
Yeah, sorry, my people skills.
I've been a little busy.
But Castiel then kidnaps this kid, knocks him out.
And I really like these cast transitions of him bringing them. They're also, it's probably the best version of how disorienting it would be to just materialize somewhere.
Yeah. The acts of God outside.
Yeah, I mean, you wish for the tornado.
I know.
Yeah.
It's coming through the window.
Yeah.
All over me.
Easy.
But yeah, so he picks up this kid, and suddenly they're in the motel room, and he's putting the kid on the bed.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus. It's not that kind of Catholic show.
To which Dean, so then he's
Cass is I can find out. When you sell a soul, there's a imprint.
Yeah.
I can find out who it is. I can read his soul for it, but it's going to hurt him like a son of a bitch. And Dean's he's a kid.
You're going to torture this kid?
And then Sam's any permanent damage? And Dean's what the fuck is wrong with all of you? And Cass is I don't have the fucking luxury.
It's a good in war moment.
Yeah. And a good reminder that Cass is a soldier.
Yeah.
When we first meet him, that's what he is. He obviously, he chooses a side in the apocalypse and stuff like that. But he is fundamentally
a soldier.
That kind of weighing of the greater good and the kind of the trolley car thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing he does. And Sam is just if there's no permanent damage, the kid could take some pain. It's Jesus.
Yeah.
And Dean is the only one that's does nobody have a problem with this?
But he's outnumbered.
Yep.
So Castiel goes, and
this is a good effect. Man, the visuals in this are so good.
Really
Cass reaches into the kid's abdomen.
Yeah.
His hand goes in, and then
kid's screaming.
Kid's glowing, and he's screaming. Really good acting from this kid.
Totally.
And then Cass removes his hand, goes I
got it.
I got it. He's now I can perform a ritual or whatever. I have the mark. I can.
But he figures it out.
Yeah.
And he's just I don't get it because it's somebody I thought was dead.
Yeah.
And we find out that it's Balthazar.
Yeah, another angel.
Who's his bro.
Yeah, they used to be buds.
Yeah, exactly. They're tight.
Yeah.
Back
in the day, we would really go out hard.
Yeah, sucking back.
We were each other's
beers.
wings, man.
Oh, that's good.
Angels.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Wingsmen.
Yeah.
Then suddenly one of Raphael's men appears.
Yeah.
And it's thanks for the name. And they all start fighting.
Don't wear it out.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, shit.
And they start having an angel battle, both resulting in them flying through the window.
Oh, man, Cass grabs him,
Such a great
jumps
effect.
out the window. They both land on the car.
It's a great
below.
effect.
They land on Sam's car.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great because Dean's
The plastic.
silver lining.
Yeah. So good.
It's very funny. Cass gets up. The other angel kind of disappears, runs away.
Yeah.
And then again, we have them looking out we have a shot down.
Yeah.
Top down, looking at Cass getting off the car. He looks up. The camera pulls back from the boys at the window, and then Cass is there. This episode has 5 amazing Cass transitions.
Really, really good.
Where you look at him and he's holding the kid, and then boom, then he's in a different room and they're just there. Here's the thing. I think no spoilers here, but I think this episode is fine, but the VFX, the editing and that of this episode is so goddamn good.
Really, really good.
If there was a better story to the episode, this would be an all-time great Supernatural episode.
Totally. So he comes back and he's like, all right, let's go. We gotta keep going. And Dean and Sam are like, no. What the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah.
Like, who is this? What is going on? Dean says, stop, all right. Too many angels, Cass. I don't know who's on first and who's on second. And Castiel does even go like, what's second? And he goes, no.
Yeah, we're not doing this.
Dean's quoting the famous comedy routine, Who's on First by Abbott and Costello. Castiel explains that there is a civil war going on in heaven between supporters of Raphael and Castiel.
This is where we get this extra layer of it. Yeah.
Raphael wants to continue the apocalypse. Anyways, Castiel now does the ritual to find his Balthazar's locations. We got the name from putting his hand inside the kid, but now he can actually track
I was
him.
just trying to get a name, officer.
Oh, no. Jesus. And the three of them leave where Balthazar is.
Yeah.
They arrive at a large mansion and make their way in.
Yeah.
The interior of Balthazar's home, the stairway and the front door location, is the same setup as Regina Mills from the Once Upon a Time TV show from 2011.
Oh, okay.
Castiel then walks through and you can hear like music in like the background.
Yeah.
Just like thumping like dance music. Yeah. And finds like a weird grand piano with electronic music and lights going off. Weird setup.
Yeah, it is.
And Balthazar shows up and it's like, Castiel!
I love this guy. This actor,
So good.
Sebastian Roche.
Yeah.
He's so good, and he's so like effortlessly charming. I love his like deep V t-shirt.
Yeah.
He's got a very kind of like Euro vibe.
100%.
You know, but I really like him.
He's great.
He's great. Super charming.
Like him
This
a lot.
is where I was falling asleep a bunch.
Castiel asks him what he's been doing, and he's just like, I'm doing everything. He's like, I had a menage a, what's the French word for 12?
Yeah. Douze.
Which is ironic because Sebastian Roche was born in Paris and speaks French fluently.
Sure. I think you're going to say, which is funny because Sebastian Roche frequently has a menage a douze.
Yeah. I think a menage a douze is a different thing.
No, that's a menage a deuce. Oh.
Balthazar
Yikes.
says
That's
that
more of a German thing than a French thing, I think.
It's open to everybody.
Menage a deuce?
Yeah. It's open to everyone.
No, I'm just saying.
Balthazar
what
says
are Germans known for? No, not that. The other thing.
Balthazar says that he did this because he basically he's like I took the staff, I'm fucking doing whatever I want now, but he says he's because he's following Castiel's footsteps of this rebellion.
Yeah, he's like, you broke the mold, buddy.
You said you could do whatever you want.
He's like, and that's what I'm doing. I'm living life. I'm free.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not conforming to heaven's like protocols. I'm doing whatever I want, and it's like not what Castiel meant.
Yeah, Castiel's like, that's not quite what I meant.
Balthazar also tells Castiel that he followed, and it shows outside. Raphael and his men have now reached, but Balthazar pieces out.
Yeah, sorry, Cass has been followed. Yes.
And as his men are being, so Balthazar pieces out, and Sam and Dean, Raphael, and Castiel all start fighting.
Yeah.
Which is a decent battle.
It is cool to see Raphael again too, because you sort of forget about him until this episode.
Yeah.
Like you see him, he's mentioned once, and then you see him in that one episode where they trap him. But then the rest of that season is like we see Michael, we see Gabriel, we know Lucifer's an archangel, but it's like, wait a minute, like shouldn't Raphael be somewhere?
Yeah,
and you never see him again.
I love the actor that plays him.
Yeah,
too.
he's great. He's really good.
So they easily deal with the angels, which is funny because there's a great moment where one of the angels shows up in front of Dean, and he's like, you think you're gonna, because Dean's like, I got one of your like knives now.
Yeah.
And the angel's like, I'm sorry. Oh no, it's Sam. And he's like, do you think you're gonna beat an angel in a knife fight? And then Dean shows up and is like, no, I'm gonna do this. And he presses his like hand against the sigil and banishes the angel, which is a great moment.
Yeah.
But now Raphael finally faces up against Castiel and fucking dominates him.
Yeah.
Like knocks him down a set of staircases.
Because he's an archangel.
Yeah. Like, Castiel is great, but and has been given upgraded powers and shit.
Yes, he has.
But he's still not like Raphael. No. Like, and he's about to finish off Castiel. Nice. Until Balthazar suddenly then reappears and uses a crystal to turn Raphael's body into a pillar of salt.
Yes.
Classic angel shit.
Another biblical reference.
That's right.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
But
don't look back.
After refusing to return the weapons to Castiel, Dean then traps Balthazar in a circle of holy fire.
Yeah.
And tells him to return Aaron's soul.
Yes.
And Balthazar does, and tells them that they have no idea how powerful a soul is. Because they're like, why would you take a soul? And he's like, look, this is end times. He's like, the only thing that is currency now is souls. Like, no matter who wins all of this, souls have value. And he's like, you have no idea the power
more
of
souls you got on your side, the better. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Dean and Sam are ready to like now just keep Balthazar trapped. But Castiel's like, no, I'm going to let him go.
We're bros.
Yeah, we're tight. And Castiel says, like, now we're even, the two of them, because Balthazar had saved him, and now he saved him, so they're clear. And Balthazar then leaves. At the end of this episode, we then cut to Sam and Dean having a long conversation about how hell was for both of them.
Yeah.
Sam tells Dean that they were different, and that the time that in hell didn't bother Sam as much as it did Dean. And Dean's like, would you think you're better than me?
It's like, I look better, I fuck better.
Yeah, and I pay for sex.
Yeah, then I throw out their numbers because who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I'm Sam.
I don't give a Sam. And he's basically like, I do like how defensive Dean is. Just like, what, do you think you're better than me? And he's like, no, we're just different.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I which is such like a alpha thing to do, to be like, oh, I don't think about you at all. Like, he's just like... Yeah.
I don't know. Hell just was like kind of fine for me.
Yeah, I liked it.
Even though I was in the cage with Lucifer himself, it was like fine.
Why? Did you have a problem?
Yeah, I definitely didn't like corrupt everything about me.
Yeah. What, did you have like a hard time there? Oh, that sucks.
That's fine. Some people just aren't as strong as others.
Yeah. You just can't handle it. It's
fine.
It's, I'm not better than you. I'm just,
I'm just less weak.
Yeah. And that's the end of
this. If there's a thing you've got more of than me, it's weakness.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to. If that's how you weigh better.
You want to go call your girlfriend?
I don't need one. I pay for mine.
Yeah, just for like minutes at a time.
Yeah. And that's the end of this episode, because it's certainly not the end of a story that happened.
No, it is not.
What did you think about this episode?
It's funny, like the individual pieces of the episode are all pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I love investigating the case and seeing these plagues play out. And again, the strong piece of the whole episode is the VFX and the way it's shot and edited. Like the transitions between scenes. We talk about, Cass's, teleporting and talk about the way they shoot the boils, to make it really look like you're watching them propagate. Like all of that stuff is like really masterfully done. Like from a technical perspective, this episode is one of the best ones we've seen so far.
Totally.
Probably top 3.
Yeah.
It's exceptionally well-made episode. And individually, there's pieces of this that I like. I like investigating the case. I like meeting Balthazar.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like these like missing like heavenly weapons. A lot of those pieces I like. They fit together in the clunkiest way possible, I think.
Yeah.
And we're also like dumped into a lot of things all at like. I know we've had a couple of episodes, but this is ostensibly the first case back as we are partners, we hunt.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's Sam and Dean
we jump into that. We meet Cass again. We introduce biblical weapons. We learn that angels are doing deals for souls.
We bring back Raphael.
Hear about the Civil War. We bring back Raphael. There's a huge fight.
And
we kind of end, and you're like, well, where did we leave off?
That we get rid of we get rid of Raphael's body, and we bring in Balthazar.
That's like 3 episodes worth of shit.
Yeah,
and they dump most of it in like 25 minutes. So it's like, it's both exciting because a lot happens, but it's also like kind of clunky, very rushed, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it doesn't feel like there's a ton of closure on the case. Because, like, the episode, what it glosses over is, like, what is this, like, kid gone through? They use the kid to find out Balthazar, but they don't go through, like, we're going to get your soul back for you, kid. Like, we don't see them.
It's literally...
he says, I've released the soul, but we don't, like, catch up with the kid.
We don't
see the kid reckoning with, like, the fact that he went the route of vengeance, and
We almost fridged this kid. Like,
yeah, I mean, like you would. I think in this episode in an earlier season, that would be more the focus.
whole episode.
We'd have a little bit more of like the Dean parenting thing, and he'd come
Yeah.
back and be like, "Listen, we make mistakes, we
Yeah.
lose our way," but like we'd have some kind of resolution for the kid and the dad and that family.
totally.
But in this episode, there just means to, yeah, you're right. We do kind of fridge them.
Yeah.
Like
Kids brought in just to get like. There's literally a point where
like why is that torture?
they leave this kid in a random motel.
Yeah.
And like, and Dean's like, "Are we not gonna bring this kid back?" And they're like, the cops will deal with him. There's like a distant
Cops are great
alarm.
with black kids.
Fuck. There's like a distant, a kid whose brother got murdered by cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just like a distant cop sound, and they're like, the cops will deal with it. As if he's coming there. Like, we have no idea when this kid will wake up, what's gonna happen to him.
It's true. Yeah, I think that's probably my big issue with the episode.
100%.
I think the pieces are interesting.
It's well made.
I like a lot of the.
It's well shot.
I
great
like a
effects.
lot of the ideas, like where
Yeah.
stuff is starting to unfold. I like that a lot better than the idea of like there's a new class of monster. Like this stuff is
Yeah.
more interesting anyway. But the execution, story wise, is like really baffling, and not as satisfying. And it does kind of feel like they set up all this kind of human element stuff between Dean and Sam, but then we just lose it in the back half of the episode because it's an angel fight.
Totally.
So that kind of that's slightly disappointing for me. I guess I would give this. It's tough because it's still like a well-made episode.
But does that make a good episode if it's well shot? Like,
It's tough, and again, I like the composite pieces. It's just this is a tough one. I think if I'm being honest, I got to give it 3.75 pillars of salt.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that as well as it's shot, it doesn't achieve what it's trying to do here. It's not. It barely tells a story. It just introduces some concepts. It's basically just like giving you like backstory and some like setup for all the next episodes.
Yes.
It doesn't for me serve as an episode.
It
at
really
all.
should be more episodes.
Yeah, there's some great like I like Castiel's people's
That's great.
that's funny. Like there are a couple good moments,
It's
but
nice
like
to see Cass again.
but also Castiel feels like that. I mean, and maybe properly so. It does feel like we're getting an older version of Castiel. Like he built up this relationship with these guys, and it feels like
there's a part of me that maybe the thing is like the way they drop that Heaven's in a civil war feels like it needs to be the payoff of something bigger.
Yeah.
Like a couple of episodes of like these artifacts or whatever. And maybe that means like delay Cass.
Yeah.
Maybe we're getting it all too early or something.
I don't know.
But like shouldn't we see like a couple of biblical weapons and then they go like where are these things coming from? And then we learn, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's not the right way either. I just
this whole season
something's
this whole season feels too much and too quick.
and also too little and not enough. Yeah.
Like literally we got all the Samuel stuff, nothing since then. Like it's just like it's weird and clunky to me.
And it does feel like there are two halves of a thing.
There's
Samuel stuff and there is Cass stuff. And they don't feel like and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
Technically, this season the ideas converge, but not as cleanly as you'd want.
So I'm going to give this a 2.75.
Whoa.
Piles of bloody cop.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, if you're listening at home, I bet you're thinking like, wait a minute. You missed a bit. I didn't miss anything.
I don't feel like we missed a bit.
I didn't miss anything, but just hang on here.
Oh my God, this.
I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberry.
That's right. It's time for the fuck you, Samuel Campbell Memorial. Who was the biggest asshole in this episode segment?
Wow. Where did that come from?
That's from our good friend Yo Crow, who gave us so many sandwich segment drops.
Of course.
Last season.
Now we get again, just like this season, a clunky new segment.
Yeah, I'm gonna nominate for asshole of the episode.
Cops.
Well, not just. I'll be more specific. I think it's whatever his name was, fucking Lawrence, the speed trap cop.
Big gulp.
Yeah, Mr. Big Gulp himself. Because he seemed like he was kind of ringleading the we got to get our story straight.
Yeah, fuck that.
It doesn't matter that the other lion cop died. We're gonna get out of this.
Yeah, it'll be.
He
fine.
seemed like the big. I mean, they were all culpable and horrible, but he seemed like the one. Because he kind of felt like that old generation cop, lazy on the speed trap, phoning it in. That's my nomination for asshole of the episode. Who do you have?
I mean, cops.
Generally.
The rest of them.
Yeah. All of you. Yeah. Well, there you go. That was the fuck you, Samuel Campbell memorial. Who's the biggest asshole this episode segment? Just wait.
No, it's great. It's
Per
over.
your
Now we go to the
instructions,
next
there's
thing.
also an outro.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine then.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Oh, short, sweet. Love it.
There you go.
Great job, Yo Crow. All right.
Great
well,
segment, Reed. Oh, thanks, Richard.
No, I said as much as I wanted to.
You son of a bitch.
As we wrap
He's
up,
behind me, isn't he?
as we wrap up this episode, sorry, my people skills aren't so great. No, I'm not. It's intentional.
No, you're not.
Before we wrap up this episode, though, we've got a note from a fellow hunter.
Ooh, very nice. Let's have it.
Coming to us from Izzy, who says, "Is he gonna write it?
Is he? Isn't he?
I actually don't know. They could I don't know.
Jesus.
First off, 5 stars from Utah.
Ooh. What is that in Canadian stars?
I left a review a while ago, but that was when I was young, naive, and also not in college.
I'd like to revise my review.
Yeah, I was not in college. 4 weeks ago, give or take. I've caught up to you guys, and I love your show. I grew up watching Supernatural, and it's really kept it alive for me since it ended. I'm pretty sure people think I'm as crazy as I'm walking around campus because I'm just giggling to myself because y'all are too funny.
Oh, that's very sweet.
My roommate and I sometimes listen to you guys as we're getting ready for the day.
Oh, that's fun.
Although she does speak Latin and sometimes dies inside because of how you pronounce things.
That's fair. Listen, yep. Just wait until you hear how we pronounce Samhain.
But I wanted to point out that in season 4, you asked if there were any Mormon / IDS people or IDS, I'm not sure. IDS, I don't know. Or LDS?
LDS, probably Latter-day Saints.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Latter-day Saints people that watch Supernatural or listens to your show. While I'm not, I did grow up Mormon, and my roommate is, and it's her favorite show.
Hey, there you go.
Side note, don't take this the wrong way, but Reed's laugh kind of sounds like the cockatoo from the Rio movies. You're not the first person to say that.
Well, I mean, I think they're the first person to say that specifically. My laugh comes up a lot.
I think
I don't know that I've heard specifically.
I think I have heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love all your work you guys do in both podcasts. Yes, I listen to both.
Whoa, sorry.
Also, good for continuity purposes.
Yeah, we're crossing over a lot of jokes.
Thanks for being the perfect podcasters.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you very
Izzy.
much.
That's awesome. Well, if you want to continue this discussion, you can do so through our Discord channel just by subscribing to our Patreon.
That's right. If you go to patreon.com/ghostfacers, it's only $1 a month, and you get access to Angel Radio. It's our awesome Discord channel. Our community there is awesome. So many fun people and sharing some SPN love and, all of the stuff kind of tangentially about the boys and, surrounding stuff. And we're having a great time there. It helps to support us.
if you want to send us a note about a future episode or a past episode, just like Izzy did this week, all you have to do is send us an email to ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
That's right. We are at GhostfacersPod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform that you're finding us on. While you're there, why don't you give us a 5-star review, and we'll read that review on a future episode of the show. Also, you can buy our merch.
Yeah, buy our merch.
At ghostfacerspodcaststore.com. You can get your Lore Horror shirt or the Hungarian tour shirt.
I'm waiting for the Samuel Campbell shirt.
You'll be waiting for a while.
Just his face on a can of soup.
I do like that. Also, as we mentioned before, and as Izzy already does, why don't you listen to both of our podcasts?
Yeah, if you like how we talk about supernatural and ghosts and monsters and stuff like that over here, you might like how we talk about superheroes and comic books and stuff over on our other podcast, the Dr. DC podcast. It's all about DC Comics. We answer listener questions. You don't need to know anything, but it's a fun time talking about kind of the myths and the powers and the stories of superheroes and stuff like that.
That's it for this week. Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.